All right, so new original video, at least for the most part. I'm confused. Democrats, what is your ultimate goal? That's what I want to know. Like, y'all lost y'all mind when Kamala Harris lost the election. All right, y'all lost your mind. Y'all lost your mind when y'all lost the election. Y'all, I don't know why, but y'all really thought that Kamala Harris was gonna beat Trump. Okay, like it doesn't make no sense. Like, it's not. Well, maybe it is because she's a woman, but personally, she was not qualified to be president or to be, let alone even a vice president. But Joe Biden, he made his decision for her to be a vice president. So all clear. I'll respect his decision on that. Okay. But I mean, just me personally, I have absolutely no problem a woman being vice president, because to me it mimics the biblical standard of the man being the head of the household and the woman being second in command. So I have no problem with that. All clear. But the problem I'm trying to understand, what is the ultimate end goal for the Democrats, okay? That's what I want to know. When I was young, I was more of a conservative Democrat, okay? When I was a teenager, a conservative Democrat, okay? Because I remember, the first thing I can remember about supporting any kind of political party is, okay, I can only have to go into the history of me understanding politics and presidents and the U.S. government in general, okay? The closest thing, the earliest thing I can remember is learn about Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Abraham Lincoln, which George Washington obviously was the first American president ever. I do question, what in the world would he think if he saw America today? I'm pretty sure he would have a lot to say. He would, yeah, I don't think he would agree with a lot of stuff. But anyways, and then another thing I learned about U.S. government when I was young, a kid, was Abraham Lincoln being the 14th president, I think. He was a Republican and everything. He freed the slaves and all that stuff. And I was trying to understand slavery was and everything. And then, there's all that and stuff like that. Fast forward up to like 2008, 2009, I forgot. I'm going to say 2006, I was told that George Bush was president, okay? So I was alive when George Bush, the son, was president. So he, to me, was my first president, chronologically in my life, okay? Because I was born in 1999. Look, my math might be messed up, so please excuse me because I was that young, okay? But I can remember in second grade in 2006 or 7, I think it's 2006, they were saying George Bush was president, okay? George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. We honored these presidents on President's Day. Do any of you know that song? If you know, that go way back. I was that long. But anyways, in music class, we was learning about, I don't know, well, it was music class. That's why I said the song. But the point is, this is when I started to understand politics a little bit more, okay? When Obama versus Mitt Romney. Was Obama versus Mitt Romney? Obama versus, who was the other dude? I forgot. Who was the other dude? Oh, no, I think Obama versus Mitt Romney was the first one. Who was the next one? Whatever. The point is, my childhood mother at the time voted for Obama, okay? Obviously, I was in support of Obama because he was a black, okay? You see, back then, I identified more as a black man, okay? I identified more as my skin color and everything. And then, yeah, but I was a conservative, though. I was a conservative Democrat back in the day, okay? Conservative Democrat back in the day, okay? So I was just trying to figure out, I didn't understand parties and stuff like that. All I thought was there was bad people and good people, okay? All I know is Mitt Romney was a bad person because he hated black people and wanted to send people back to their countries, okay? And that's what I thought when I was young. Obama was a good man because he was against that. So that's what I thought back then when I was a kid, okay? So by default, I was a Democrat, okay? But I was a conservative because I was strongly against progressive ideologies and stuff like that. And that still is consistent and relevant today, because I am still against most progressive ideologies and all that stuff. But going back up today, okay? Do not come over here, please. Going up today, I'm just trying to figure out what in the world is the end goal. What is the ultimate end goal of the Democrats? The Democrats of yesteryear are very different from the Democrats of today. You know how I know? Because RFK, he said it himself. He said the Democrats of when his uncle Robert what's his name, John F. Kennedy, is very different than what the Democrats is today. And I'm very sure John F. Kennedy would probably think the same. And that makes no sense because he was assassinated. Maybe because he was a Democrat that didn't fit the agenda of what the people thought. So they decided to assassinate him, which is, most respect to that John F. Kennedy and stuff like that. But anyways, going back on topic, I'm just trying to figure out what is the end goal for y'all, for modern day liberal Democrats, okay? Women's rights. You have your rights. You're able to kill your babies. You're able to do the Plan B. You're able to vote. You're able to to work and have credit cards and all that stuff. You're able to do all of that. Y'all females, y'all women, y'all have your rights, okay? You have your rights. I don't see what rights don't you have, okay? What rights don't you have? That's what I want to know. So now that's over. Now you have all your rights. Okay, now the blacks have their rights. Okay, so as blacks, we have our rights. Okay, the different races, the non-white people, they have their rights. Okay, I even use my right, my own rights or whatever to vote for Trump or whatever. So there's that. So the blacks, they have their rights. No more slavery, blah, 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 this and stuff like that. What next? Oh, the gay people, they need theirs too. Okay, Obama's stupid ass gave it to them. I was extremely confused to why a supposed black messiah, man of God, legalized gay marriage. I was extremely confused with that in 2015. So, yeah. And then once they have it, okay, they have the rights, there's that. Then they start pushing the junk out to the children. Oh my gosh, this was so PMO. Today, I saw this kid. He was clearly a boy. He was wearing pink and everything. And that man next to him, he was clearly gay. I already saw what was going on. That was extremely, extremely rage baiting right there. I already know what was going on. They was indoctrinating that little boy. But anyways, I feel so bad for that little boy. But anyways, going back on topic, I was extremely confused to why in the war a man of God, black man of God, whatever was, legalized gay marriage and all that. Okay, so there's that. Or like, okay, whatever, they have their rights, whatever. I could just continue being a Christian and then just preach the word of God the way it's supposed to be, okay? So you have women's rights, we have blacks' rights / immigrants' rights, we have women's rights. I already said women's rights, and all the other stuff. So what now? What else you want? Seriously, what else you want? What else you want? Now, since being gay is so normal these days, okay, but what next? Okay, what's next? What's the next step in democracy? And it's progressivism. We have women's rights. Women, y'all are CEOs and stuff like that. You literally became a vice president. You're able to run freely with little to, well, I'm not gonna say little to no judgment because that's technically false. Because I don't even want to know. We don't need no female president. But just what is the end goal? Now you want straights to support you? Okay, you have that. Now you want all straights to support you? Just know they ain't gonna ever happen. That's not gonna ever happen. You're never ever going to get all people on board with your opinion and what you believe is moral or not. That's never going to happen. That is never going to happen. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying. Do you want everybody to be gay? Like, this is the problem I have. Riley Dennis is a trans woman, all right, clearly a male. He hates the fact I'm what you call it. I'm misgendering or whatever. But either way, you're still a male. Riley, this is an old video, right? That I might even consider reviewing on my original Styles channel professionally and all that stuff. He has a problem with straight men rejecting trans women. All right? He has a problem with that. And a lot of trans women hate that. A lot of trans women hate it when straight men reject trans women. Oh, that's transphobic. Oh, that's transphobic. Oh, you're being transphobic right now talking about this. No, hear me out for a second, okay? Just hear me out. Why in the world a straight man wants to fuck a dick? Or another man's butthole? Or a trans woman's butthole? Seriously, serious question. Oh, he has to be open-minded. No one should be open-minded if they don't want to. To me, it sounds like the LGBT community, they really expect us to conform to their own delusion. It's not making sense. All right. This is the problem I have with the Democrats. Like they also gives the taxes. Since y'all want to be so helpful to middle class people and stuff like that. So what you gonna do with taxes? I'm working so hard for my money. I'm barely surviving. I am barely surviving. Okay, I'm over there working at this job that ain't paying enough and don't want to give me enough hours or any breaks or whatever. Look, I can't care. Look, I don't mind working 10 hours at this job. I just need at least a break. Okay, at least a break. But they ain't giving us that. But anyways, going past that, the whole taxes thing. Okay, I don't mind giving a portion of my money to the government to fix these streets, to build more public transit. If anything, I'm strongly against Republicans rejecting infrastructure bills and everything. When I heard Biden sign that whole infrastructure bill, I really like that. W Biden, based Biden, okay? That's something the Democrats I love. But the main problem I'm having with the Democrats is that they keep pushing these ideologies and these agendas and expecting everyone to conform. They're expecting everyone to conform. Once everybody conform, what next? What's next? What's the end goal? You want everybody to be gay? If everybody decides to be gay and stop sleeping with the opposite sex, then you know what that means. The human population is going to decline. It's already declining because my generation is just so afraid of marriage and everything, and I don't blame us because I'm definitely am because my parents didn't work out and everything, excuse me. But all I'm saying is I'm just not understanding what is the end goal of the Democrats. I personally don't mind immigrants coming here. For a start, America, the United States government don't own this land anyway. The United Kingdom, they don't own their land. All the United Nations, they don't own this land. All right, no government owns the land that they stand on. Okay, because you never paid for that. Well, they probably did, but you never created that. This land is for human. That's one thing with the Democrats I do agree with. Okay, you should be able to go in any part of the earth that you want to. Okay. In a sense, I do agree with immigration, but the problem I'm having with immigration is it's taking all the jobs for us Americans that we're trying to get, because America is so dang cheap that they don't want to pay Americans. They don't want to pay Americans to have a life or whatever. So they're importing, specifically the Democrats, they're importing all these immigrants to this country and cheating them out of their own labor and stuff like that. What time is it? Okay, America's over here cheating out the monies of the immigrants because they're willing to work so cheap, little to no money, because they're gonna work so hard and everything so they can have a life. And I'm sorry, the United States government is exploiting y'all immigrants. Okay, that's one problem. Another problem I have with the Democrats. Okay, it's not making any sense. And I don't think y'all seeing the big picture here. I understand, yes, in desperate situations, okay, you're going to do anything that you can, and any opportunity you have to fix your life, you're going to take it, okay? And that's why I support immigration, jumping over the border wall, to which I want to be built. But personally, all I'm saying is you got to have a plan, okay? You got to have a plan. So what is the end goal for Democrats? Y'all already replacing so many and let's do the racism thing, okay? The racism thing. Y'all Democrats are the most racist people I've ever met, okay? Ever met. Y'all so racist to white people when they're the ones who built this country. Oh, you're missing the black slaves that built this country either. Do you know they built the White House? Of course. I know that. Of course I'm not going to look. I'm going to give credit where credit's due, all according to all the knowledge I have. But all I'm saying is we built the country together. I'm still trying to figure. Personally, I don't want to stand for the pledge. Okay, I don't want to stand the pledge no more. Okay. Yes, that's a very liberal and democratic thing to say, which I know a lot of. I probably just pissed off a lot of Republicans and conservatives and American patriots with that. You ain't no real America, so get the fuck out. Well, probably maybe I do. Maybe I need to. But anyways, all I'm saying is, what was my main point? Yeah, because I'm kind of pissing that mosquito. That mosquito distracted me, but I'm just trying to figure out what is the ultimate end goal for the Democrats. All right, Republicans ain't no different because they're very selfish. Okay, they're very selfish. Okay, the Democrats ain't no different either. But I'm just choosing between the two lesser evils. I voted for Trump this election. I highly supported Trump this election. At first, I used to hate the man. Okay, but to be fair, I was young. I was a kid, a teenager. I don't understand politics like that. All I heard was the news said Trump is a racist. Oh my gosh, he's a racist and stuff like that. That was me back then. But obviously, I grew up. And started to understand politics more, and Trump aligned more with the morals I believe. So that's why he had my vote. And not only to mention, y'all Democrats clearly doing something wrong because y'all bullied your own nominee Biden to get out. Yes, I do agree he was too old and everything, and Trump ain't no different. He's old too. He's the oldest serving president at the moment, I think. But all I'm saying is, y'all need to get y'all shit together, all right? I have no faith in the Democratic Party, all right? I'm already being ridiculed and being called a woman hater just because I voted for Trump. Me voting for Trump is an act of hate towards women, whereas that's not even the case. Yes, we don't need no woman president, and I hope we don't ever get one. But if we do, it's a bug in my book bag. But if we do, she likely is going to be a Republican. If we ever, because you can't say I'm sexist. You can't say I'm sexist if I vote for you can't say I'm sexist or misogynistic or whatever if I choose to vote for a woman president who happens to be a Republican. That's the first thing I'm going to do. We don't need no woman president. We certainly don't. But if we do, which I do believe is going to eventually happen sometime in the future, I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm right too. But at the same time, if we do get a woman president, she is likely going to be Republican. Apparently, what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard 2028. Let's work with her. Let's work with the woman president, because apparently, was it a woman prime minister? Someone acted war against her country or whatever, and then her country won because she wasn't gonna play. She wasn't gonna play. A whole lot of young men, including myself, I'm 25 years old, voted for Trump. And I just recently found out a lot of people of my post-childhood family have voted for Trump. Mostly the men. The females, on the other hand, spoke out of emotion and voted for Kamala just because Trump's racist and hate women and PDF file and all that stuff. Okay, I'm done. I ranted a little. I'm just confused. I can see the big picture for the Republicans. It's the same old traditional white picket fence traditional family where the man is the lead, the woman is the supporter, and if she want to work, she's more than welcome to, and stuff like that. Protect women's rights, all clear, and all that stuff, except abortion, because abortion is just killing babies. I highly do not support that. Okay, for the most part, I highly do not support that. All right, but all I'm saying is, I don't understand how Christians vote Democrat. I generally don't understand that. Okay, I generally don't understand that, but that's all I'm saying. Look, y'all females, if y'all Democrats specifically, the liberal woke libtarbs or whatever, what's the end goal? That's what I want to know. If you're look, I know you're mad, I know you're pissed or whatever, but write a list of every single thing, a large list of what it is the end goal of the Democrats, because I'm not seeing it. I am absolutely not seeing it. To me, I see death. I see death. Oh, that's what I see. However, I'm seeing long, fulfilling life in the Republican Party, at least if you work for it. So that's all I'm saying. What do y'all think? I know I just pissed off a lot of people, and yeah. Thanks for watching. Trump 2028, Tulsi Gabbard 2028. Vance 28 and all that stuff. Thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe.